morning, everybody. Welcome back to the 100K Bink or Bust Bankroll Challenge. Um, we currently have one NL 200 table up and one NL 50 table up. We are looking to add more. We are on the wait list for a few tables, so we'll get on that as soon as we can. So here Invictus Open Limp, we ISO'd, we just take it down. But anyways, we are on day 50 of this 100K challenge where we are trying to run $2,500 up to $100,000 within 6 months. And currently we are at $9,200. So we had a good bounce back after yesterday after the previous days of running in the wrong direction. Obviously, it's been a very successful challenge so far, and we are ahead of schedule. For those of you following along, basically to hit this goal, we basically started at NL 50, 2,500, and every month for 6 months, we basically need to double our money and jump stakes. So that's obviously going to be pretty aggressive feat. I think we can definitely do it as long as we can get the volume in. And we'll do a quick date for yesterday, which was a really good day. We had a good stream in the morning. I think we ended at 250 in the morning stream. If you're interested, you can definitely go check those out and browse back through the older streams for updates. But yeah, yesterday overall, we played 1,000 hands and managed to collect $614 in winnings, and about 250 of that was in the morning, and then we managed to get on some 1-2 tables later that day. Want to buy in 400 hands, so I guess we want a little bit more than we thought maybe in the morning. Yeah. Either way, we just really did really well across all states. 200 at NL 200, almost 200 at NL 100, and 250 and $300 in EV at NL 50. So pretty happy with those results overall for the month of May. And we'll raise the Jack 9 suited here. That's not what I want. Yeah, if we only play 1,000 hands at NL 50, I guess that's good because we are trying to just play the bigger stakes right now. But it's hard to get the volume in that we want. And we're definitely behind on. Sorry, so I just had this little bit of a cold here, just chilling. On how many hands we want to be. I think we should almost be at double this right now. But it's been a relatively busy month. So anyways, we had a good rip. Then we ran. Had about $1,000 loss almost, give or take. $700, $800 loss, something like that. But then yesterday we had a good turn up, so nice to see that turnaround. And we'll just click back to today. For those of you who don't know, the challenge started March 18th. You can definitely 4-bet the king queen suited. You can definitely just call the king queen suited. And I will bring the stream up here. You go relatively small on this board. I think we'll just fire a check raise. I know we have like absolutely no value. But when he goes this small, I think it's hard for him to have an 8. So he's going to fold a lot of his range to that check raise. The only issue, so now 9-10 gets there as well. So the only issue you excuse me, can run into here, it's a bit big cold call, but I think it's probably okay, is if he's not willing to fold an overpair. He does, though, one way or the other. So, but yeah, you're just gonna get a lot of folds there. That's why when you're actually in position, you're supposed to do a lot of checking on paired boards. He bets out 1/3 pot with pocket jacks, of course, call. And now all the money's just going in. If he has a flush, it is what it is. So if he bets, I think we're just gonna shove on him. And if he checks, we'll just bet. Or shove. I might actually just rip this. Okay, he checks. So obviously we can run into like ace king diamonds or something like that. So we're never dead here. We can also sometimes run into pocket sixes, pocket sevens. There are no straights out there, which is good. But we can also run into like, other than pocket queens, we're not dead. We can also run into aces, kings, like with a single diamond, like ace queen with a diamond, king queen with a diamond. Or we're just completely dead to queens. All right, GG's. Oh my God. That's insane. All right, guys. Biggest suck out. What do you do, though, you know? Um, Other fives will just fold here. Isn't it funny? Like the guy says, I felt that one coming, and he actually cashed out. The that's one for the boys, though. You know, +1 for the boys, -1 for GG is essentially what happened there. We're gonna save that like mega suck out. Hmm. I think we go small here. We do have to fold if we get raised. But I think there's a good portion of the time he's going to have some queen X that'll call, maybe like a 10X that calls sometimes. I'm going to send this one to the boys here. You know, sometimes, yeah, I'd be out of here too if I was him. Um, I do like the turn shove though. Maybe we'll review that hand quickly here in a second. Um, and raise here. Just, just I'm gonna try to actually. This guy, is this tree now? Can't remember. Bubble, no, I don't know who this is. Man, that was an insane second. At NL 200 too, which is crazy. Oh, this is probably gonna be annoying, isn't it? Okay, well we'll get that double. We'll get the double stream shut down there. King Queen suited here. We definitely three betted a good portion of the time. I think calling is also fine. And we're just going to donk out on this board. I like this because any club, any king, any queen, we can either, well, we're going to barrel any club. Any king, queen, we can like check call and kind of protect our hand a little bit. Or any like 5, any 8, any 6, any deuce, any diamond, we can blast on the turn. Yes. I am definitely. I'm definitely gonna have to start playing heads up. I think there's no way around that. Um, but I'd rather start. Like I do it at 50. I don't know. I think I'm really gonna have to just start making it happen. Um, and get some study in and just kind of do it. 8, 16. Raise the 8-6 off. Obviously, we 4-bet the kings and try to get it in. Calls, man. Okay, we'll go 4% on the turn or on the flop. Fold here. Calls. We're gonna think this over for a minute. Probably check. Could also block bet again. Okay. Queen's not super cool. Because now we lose to pocket queens. Ace queen's gonna feel a little bit more comfortable barreling. Is there anything to get value out of? Is going to be the question. I think probably not. I think like pocket jacks or pocket eights or something, yeah, is just going to check back as well. They're not going to bluff enough. I think like nines is a hand he should be turning into a bluff a good portion of the time. On the turn, like when I check turn. Would make sense. Because even the times, you know, sure, every once in a while he might run into pocket aces or something, but he does have lots of sevens. I have some sevens, but I think you could definitely get away with a bluff a good portion of the time there with pocket nines. You could argue just checking down as well, but I think I don't know. I guess a lot does come in for me on the river. Like ace queen, but it's just, yeah, I don't know. I think he just gave up on the turn really and just went for showdown, which is I think fine. Also, like I think you're gonna win some portion of the time against me. I can have pocket fives, sixes, eights. You do beat some of those hands, and then I guess it becomes uncertain for him. Like if he's gonna bluff here, he has to like barrel the turn and then shove the river, right, to get me to fold. So I think that should be in the arsenal some portion of the time, and I think checking down's also fine some portion of the time. What do we got going here? Where are we sitting? I will have to pause the stream for a minute. So check 5. Won't be for long. We'll be right back. We're back, guys. I'm going to keep the microphone and camera off for a minute while we eat, and then we'll be right back. All right. We are so the 1-2 table. We flop bottom pair here. Could overbet this actually. Barada does call. Snap checks turn. Probably gonna be pretty hard to get him to fold much there. So I think we'll just check back. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get too many folds from like a queen or a 10. Just let that go. We do have the best hand though, so that's good. 9-6 suited, fold, fold. The ace-9 off to raise. Yeah, Drew Clutney on our left is going to cause some issues. We're big blind. He bets with the king of clubs here. We're going to check raise sometimes. But I think he just keeps betting. An unknown is going to oversee bet on these types of boards that are good for the big blind, which is us. And because they're going to oversee bet, they're not going to continue on the turn enough with their overcards and stuff as a bluff. So I suspect we can just check call flop and then end up just being able to stab river a lot. And we'll just go small here. Fours are just a fold. D sport, we ISO raised, he called. We're just going to see bet here. At a position with second pair for value. And I think we oversee bet when we ISO, but the limp call ranges are so wide and terrible from fish. You kind of just need to be. There's going to be just so much value in ISO raising and then taking it down. For the big 3.5x, until we know that's a standard open, I'll be overfolding in spots, especially when I'll be out of position post lot. A little extra value here, so we'll squeeze the 6-7 suited. Fold 4-3 suited, fold the queen deuce, fold the 10-5. So here we are, we're on track. Again, for those of you who don't know, we started on the 18th, so our second month finishes on May 18th. And what we're trying to be at is 12K by the May 18th, which will let us keep our scheduled 133 big blinds at NL 200 to get to 20K by June 18th. Maybe just squeeze the king 6 suited there. I might have to mute again here. I can hear another one of the little monkeys running around. So they can't be on camera or YouTube will block it. So that is why we shut everything off really quick. Five, 3. Okay. Got pocket kings in the top left. And we're going to call again here at the bottom left. The ace. And we're going to, well, we're just going to jam here for 30 bigs. Ace, queen. Calls. Jack. Run it twice. Nope. Ace. Queen. Okay. Kills some of his outs. And I think we're going to raise this. We can't be mad, I guess, if we get sucked out on here. He gets all his outs back. To be honest, I just don't really believe Rune. Donk bet, and then bet. But I think we probably just have to let it go. And Dodger King and Dodger Jack. Nice. Okay, so alert or not calls. So we raise call. Small blind checks. So nobody has like ace king. We're gonna check here. Nobody has like ace king. Uh, Nobody has ace king. Nobody really has ace queen, pocket jacks. Like those hands aren't really in their ranges. Command protect when he leads out. The issue is alert not overcalling. It's weird. This lead here is super weird too. Um, like when he leads out, I mean, sometimes fish will do that with pocket threes or pocket nines here. Um, we are three betting the queens and we are ISOing the ace king. The issue, okay, so we are going to leave this table three-handed. We're not really interested in playing them. I just have to fold the kings here, I think. The full pot size lead out. And like turn checks around. So obviously he could be bluffing here, like at least a good portion of the time. But I don't think villains bluff into three players often enough. And we're just ripping ace king here. Um, Fold here, fold 10-6 off. Wicks would have had to like slow play aces twice, which I think is unlikely. Do we get to see that hand? No way. Yeah. The lead out is usually trying to get like free cards to see draws. Every once in a while, it'll be like Jack 9 or pocket threes or pocket nines or something. Um, but it also could easily be like ace 5, ace 6, ace 7, ace 8, ace deuce of spades, ace 3 of spades as well. What happened here? Flop checks around. He checks again to us. We're just going to overbet. Turn to win it all. And we're going to overbet turn to win it all. So yeah, and I think again he's just like betting into three people full pot, and he let out, call the checker, call the re-raise, and then blasted pot. We're not going to play Barada. Heads up, no thank you. We just have to call the min click. I'm just not willing really to fold that. Once he checks back, he's probably just missed a good portion of the time, I would think. Yeah, exactly. So we can just go small and take it down. And here we do a lot of overbet bluffing. So we're going to overbet here when we spike the trips with 9 deuce off. Donnie X C 4X is it? Jack Chip Chase also calls. With threes, we're going to call here, even though it's probably break even at best in EV. But because we're up against fish. Wow, that's a good 5-10 too. Or excuse me, Big Nicky freezes. Never seen it before. Fold sim for. Anyways, because they're both fish, I think we'll have enough of a skill edge. And the fact that when we do hit a 3, the odds of us actually getting full stacks is probably pretty high. So when you kind of combo all that together, it probably, I would say, tips it into the plus EV side of things. So we have done the update. We started March 18th. Let's do a full challenge update here. Check the graph for that. Mostly because people like to see it, and it's good for the stream, and it's good for the video views. So we're just going to pull that up here. We'll see if we can get onto some more tables, but right now they're relatively dead. Fold Jack 5. Here, okay. We've actually been running really good lately. But again, like it's such small samples. I wish like PokerCraft wasn't so glitchy. I would go all the way back, to the beginning and see where we're running. But you know, we've played probably almost a million hands. I would imagine the EV lines are going to be very close because when you play that many hands, that's just how it goes. So make sure when you guys are watching, you hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. It really does help grow the channel. Maybe we'll do a YouTube channel update at some point too. But it has been actually growing pretty well um, so far, averaging, I don't know, like 60 um, hours a day, like 60 watched hours, I guess, a day, which is actually pretty decent. Um, that's every 10 days, that's 600 hours. Um, so we're probably like, what's that, like 7 months away, like 7 months in total, uh, away from getting enough watch hours to get monetized. And then I should start pumping out the shorts a little bit more as well because they do drive subscribers to the channel. Okay, down here in the bottom right, it's checked all the way around. I think we can definitely get some value here still. Um, right now, my goal was just to get rid of that scoop so that we can kind of comfortably play in position here. Okay, now we're going to go really small on the turn because one, I think we still get value, and two, if he had the flush, he'd probably raise that a good portion of the time. And I think we'll just block that river. Basically, the river decision is between checking to let him bluff the flush draw or betting for when he has like pocket pairs or like a worse jack. He actually had both there on the turn, so he had a pretty strong hand. But in the end, I don't think enough people bet thinly. Like I don't think he would. I'm not necessarily sure that he would honestly bet that jack, which is why we bet ourselves for value. Otherwise, we would do a lot of checking, and I also don't think he would bluff enough. So we do a lot of checking there, or sorry, a lot of betting there because villains are not going to bluff or stab enough. So we just lose a bunch of value by checking. And we'll check back the ace. Okay. It's tough to fold here because he's playing so many hands, but never raises them. So the odds of him bluffing are like extremely low, and he will take like this line. Oh, he actually checked flop, so that was bad. I should have called there. I thought he bet flop there. I was gonna say like that's a big line that he'll take. Well, here he'll bet the top pair, check back turn, and then bet on the river, especially when he like improves to trips and stuff. Here, obviously, we're just check calling down and calling the ace. It says the nuts. But like the pot river bet is pretty strong for them most of the time. Here we block 8-9, we block ace 8, and we have backdoor clubs and straight draws, so great spot to check raise. And we'll fold the 8-3 suited. It does exist. You just gotta show it. That's all. So we've won the most money. It's kind of funny over. Okay, hold on. Limp ISO cold call. I smell a squeeze. Honestly, this might be. I'm not sure what the squeeze size should be here. This is probably a little small, to be honest. We're getting like 2.5 to 1 to call. Oh, Geo's in the tank. Interesting. Okay, that's good. It's a good start. Oh, it's a great outcome. Not sure what alternate calls there that doesn't call that squeeze. To be honest, the squeeze was too small. I wonder what GTO squeezes, but to me, if they're getting 2.5 to 1, they're just going to be calling a ton. So, yeah. let's just see. Yeah, so over this length of time. Uh-oh. Sorry, Chip. Where biggest wins are against GFMLU, King of the North, St. Jules, and to flop or not to flop. And then our biggest losses are. So Eric Duong was just, we lost 2 hands to him at NL 200. The rest, I think, are just, fish, basically. We are going to call him. Yeah, I think Ace Queen and Ace King probably get it in pre-flop given his stack size. And if you run into a set, so be it. Right, so we're basically ahead unless we're running to pocket fives, pocket nines. Okay, we take the first run out. Oh, he's got King Nine Spade. Nice, that's a really good one to dodge. Ace, and he's dead. Okay. Fold the 8-3 off. So EV graph for the challenge so far. The big update, the big reveal. Okay. King 3 suited. Well, ISO, fold 5 deuce. Pocket 8s here. I think are fold. Good flip of the time, to be honest. It's a pretty good flop, though. Play this by ear. Okay, he goes small, so that's a good start. He is supposed to go big on these boards when he does bet. Okay. Okay, checks back. And okay, so we basically have to decide between value betting or check calling. And I think if we are the ones to bet, he's gonna have to call like pocket nines, tens, jacks, queens, kings, aces, and fold like ace king and stuff. But what we're gonna do is check and give him basically an opportunity to bluff again with ace queen or ace king, or queen jack suited, which he does not do. Take that down. So like this board with him, like he might just assume people are over folding, and it's probably fine to just bet small almost always. But really, he should just pretty much be like giving up almost with that hand on that board. In a 3-bet pot where we've called at a position. Fold the king deuce. I guess now that the microphone's been adjusted, you can hear my poker chips there. Try not to play with those too much and drive everybody nuts. Okay, the ace 10. We're just gonna get out of the way. Fold the quick four suited. Is it working? Yeah, there we go. All right, so we played 88,000 hands so far over the challenge in total. And majority of this is NL 50 and NL 100. So overall, it's been going pretty good. Raise the ace queen, raise queen 7, raise jack deuce. That was a big dip here. 60,000 hands. We dropped basically a Geno. And then I think we went on a bit of a tear over the next 20,000 hands or so. And that was a good rip right there. Yeah, so that was a good tear here, all the way up. Fold the 4-3, fold the a7 here. And we are going to raise the jack 10 suited over the ISO. We do check call 1. Blind versus blind with ace high. Some backdoors. He checks back. Geo cold calls. That's strange. So this cold call is like tens, jacks, ace, queen. Like almost always. I think against Andrew in here, we're going to check shove if he bets. Actually, bets 3/4 pot. That's interesting. Here he barrels. We fold. All right. So our plan was to check shove. I think I've taken too long now. I don't know, it felt strong. Probably just knitted up too much, but yeah, the check shove there should work 100% of the time, almost, when he like checks back turn. That's flop checks back turn, and we're blocking like 7, 8, 5, 6, 7. Or sorry, we're blocking him from having some of the straights. Meh, I don't know. Feels kind of nitty to not check shove there, since that was the plan. All right, and I think we went on a, yeah, but we bounced back pretty good. So we've played 88,638 hands. We are currently $10,000 pre-rake. So I'd say that's pretty much crushing it so far. Pretty happy with all the results. Obviously, we're running like super hot above EV right now. But that is like probably not as big of a gap as we think it is. Well, it is a big gap, but I just mean blind wise. A lot of that EV was, I think, run good at 200 in a couple spots. We are going to 3-bet the nines, I think, for value. First the button open. Take that down. How many hands? How many hours in 50 days? How many? So Adrian Pop asks, or how many hands at 50 days? So at 50 days, we have now played. Funny enough, we just found that out. I want you to see this. We have played 88,000 hands over the last 50 days, and we have profited $10,000 pre-rake. So you have to take the rake off of that, and then add the rake back and stuff for your win rate. But basically, our BB per 100 with rake back, after rake with rake back, because on GG Poker I include that as your win rate because the rake is so high, right? We're at running around like 8 BBs per 100 at each stake, give or take. In profits, that's overall pretty good. Here we're just gonna fold to the squeeze. So we squeeze free. I should probably just check this. Go a little bit over 10% though. Ace Jack's a good hand to 4-bet, but against somebody who's probably not 3-betting anywhere near correctly, we're just going to check it. So anyways, yeah, Adrian, we've played 88,000 hands basically in the last 50 days, so a little bit below where we need to be volume-wise, actually significantly below where we need to be volume-wise. All right, so alert or not calls. The question is, if we shove, does he ever fold? An ace. Check bet lines. Very stationary. Yeah, I think that's fine. Just kind of give up there. That's what it is. I guess we'll get on the waiting list now for the 1-2 table. It's actually really good, at least for number 1 on it. Gluteny, what is going on here? These time banks are infuriating because you lose them so quickly. Like if you even drop 1 second into your time bank, you lose the whole thing, right? You have like 4 time bank cards. Maybe that's how they do it in live poker or something, where as soon as you use the time bank card, it's just dead. Whether you actually use the entire amount or not. And it seems like they've kind of converted that to here. Huge missed c-bet here. We just have to stab now and try to hope he just gets out of the way. But yeah, like ace king and a 3-bet pot, like, and then we don't see bet is crazy. Yeah, he's got a king. We're just hoping he lets it go. Yeah, yeah. Or queens even. Nice hand. But yeah, that's like a spot where we just go bet, bet, bet. Missing that c bet's a huge mistake. In a 3-bet, in a big 3-bet pot, right? You end up losing. What's that, like 30 big blinds there? So yeah, there is the total of the 50-day challenge so far. I'd say that's cruising along pretty good, especially considering there's a lot of, like, the first 40,000 hands or so is probably majority of it is NL50 and a bit of NL100. So yeah, super happy. And while our winnings are above the expected value, whole line is going up. So all that means is we're actually just like winning a bunch of our flips, right? Or not necessarily even our flips. If we're winning flips, it'd be a significant difference. This is like getting it in with aces against like queens, or getting it in with kings against ace king and stuff, and just holding. And that kind of creates that distance. So overall, yeah, like it's going really good. So we're gonna flip this off. For you guys just joining now, or in the future stream, you can kind of just zoom back a bit and see. May 7th, fold the 9-6. And we'll just pull today up. Yeah, I was going to say our EV is going to be way ahead. Here today, if you're just joining the stream now, if you zoom back to maybe, I think probably the first, like, what was it, it was in the first 15 hands. There was an insane hand where we just got super lucky on the river. After getting it all in, basically dead on the turn. And we binked it, so that's pretty much driven this profit right now. At least up to the 200, and we've kind of slowly won the rest of it. But yeah, that was probably the biggest suck out I think I've had for a full stack in a long time. On this board, I guess we check. Okay, he checks, and we'll just block bet for value. On turn, if he raises, we're obviously going to call. Okay, so I wish I knew what he would do. Probably, again, it's just better to, but yeah, it is what it is. Obviously, me taking that long, it's pretty blatantly obvious that I have a flush at that point, I think. We do fold the queen-6 off. But again, like, those are just spots, I think, where you have to bet. You just have to bet, because nobody is betting thin enough when the flush rolls in. So there's not a whole lot you can do except for bet for value and, you know, kind of hope you get there. Johnny wins the big flipper against Big Nicky. Okay. All right. Alert or not, comes over the top. We are just going to fold here. I think we're going to be a little bit pickier with our squeezes against short stacks, because like having to fold there kind of sucks. So I think against like the fish shorties, when we're kind of out of position there with a hand like that in the small blind, we're going to just start calling a little bit more. And kind of go from there. Let's kings, we're going to bump those up. Okay. And we 3-bet the kings against Ruby Jones. If he 4-bets, we're going to shove, and he's just going to probably have... He'll call, though, like jacks, queens, and aces, and ace-king. Man. Another case ace. I think this time we're just going to bet to Ruby. He does call. He is calling here more than just ace-x. Like ace-king, he's getting it in. So I think we'll just do a small bet again. I think it's easier and we than like checking to him here. And then we're just going to check river because he probably just has like ace X suited or ace queen or something like that. I would say a lot of the time. But he also has, I was going to say, he'll also have hands like pocket nines and stuff, which is also fine. And he's not really going to like, when I bet small into him, I don't think he's going to bluff me enough. Like think, oh, he's weak because I'm betting small there because it's just kind of too tight, I think, to do that. So I think I'd rather just small bet, and collect that little bit of value that we can get. Obviously, if we don't think he's going to ever call worse, then we're not going to be essentially block betting here. But basically, like when you have kings and the ace falls, like a good chunk of the time you check, and then sometimes we bet. So we do mix it up a bit, because if you're just checking every time, there's an ace and you have kings or queens, then like Ruby Jones obviously pays attention. Like he's a decent reg. He's just nittier, in my opinion. They're going to notice that. And then you're just going to get like blasted on a bunch. Oh, full top, G. 3 bets. He actually goes a little bit smaller. I am going to 4 bet him here though, because I haven't done it too much. But I am a bit suspicious of that small sizing. The small sizing is either like aces because people want they want the action, or because I don't really recognize him. Sometimes it's regs who come over from stars because the rig's lower there. Your 3 bet sizing is actually smaller. But generally speaking, I'd be more suspicious of that like 10 big blind 3 bet than I would be of the standard 12 or 13. Excuse me. I guess I'll call. Okay, we'll try to just keep everything relatively updated here today as we play. Okay. I will fold the king queen to the ISO. And we're going to 3 bet the aces. Get cold called by 338 stone. I think we're just going to bet shove. It's a phenomenal turn card. We'll go small on the turn. We basically just want to commit him more to the pot so he feels like he has to call down, basically. We're not scared of the flush, obviously, with the ace of hearts in our hand. It is what it is. I think that's fine. You could also argue just like jamming turn, because then he'll call like king jack and stuff, so that's also possible. But given his stack size, I think those strong draws would probably just jam turn or flop. Versus calling. Mind you, they're a fish, so they do like to just station those draws, but when you're short stacked like that, I think even they'll get it in a lot. So I think it's better. I don't know, it could just be better to jam turn, honestly, just like ship it in and call it a day. But because they're probably just also on the same like sort of stream of logic, they're probably not going to be folding a queen. But it does kind of overcommit them in certain spots. And then maybe they just feel priced in. If they had like 10x, they don't want to fold to such a small turn bet. I don't know. Generally speaking there, it doesn't matter how it plays out. They're either going to stack off or they're not, whether you shove turn or bet small and shove river. But shoving turn's probably best. So we can have a bunch of draws, so they're not going to fold a queen. And then if they have a bunch of draws, they're like pot size. It's under a pot size bet, so they're just going to call. Okay, that's a good turn card. And we'll just keep betting. Darn it. And the king 4 suited will defend. Raise the king queen off. Drew checks back. I think this is a good spot for the 2x overbet on the turn. We have a pretty good spot at this table, even though Drew's on our left and he's a little bit more. He's actually tighter than I think. With Donnie on the right, like this is obviously free money, and Demerch 13. He's gonna get a blue tag for now. We don't know much about him except that he's 1K winning, and we don't know much about him, which means he's definitely not a regular. Definitely jump in on this table now. Sorry, Ruby. Fold queen 10. Fold queen 6. And the queen 3 off. We're going to let that go as well. Fold the 10 3. Raise the queen 5. And the ace king will raise. Fold the 6 5. Fold the king 9. Raise the kings. Fold queen 8. I guess we'll check back. He bets. We are calling ace king here. I think if he bets again, even if it's small, we just have to fold. Probably don't need to bluff here. We'll just show down the ace king. I think Barada is one of the better regs. There's this guy, Ozai. He's a pretty good reg, it seems like. At the NL 200. Tables. Fold queen 5 here. And where are we at now? We hit the hour mark at least for the stream, which is good. Definitely going to keep it going for a little bit longer. And then we'll have to dip out of here. And we'll raise the 9-7 off. And against the fish, I'm just going to bet small, and then when he calls, we will either we'll definitely double barrel turns. And we'll overbet anything that gives us some equity. Fold the king 8, the ace 8. Mostly I just want to 4-bet here, but he went really small, so I think we can just call the queen 10 suited. Generally, you're just like 4-betting or folding. Mostly just folding, I think, against the 3-bet for a proper size. He goes really small on this board. Guess we'll just let it go right now. And we'll just we'll just show down here. Okay. What happened here? We raised, went call. We're just gonna bet here, I think. They call. All right, that's a good turn card. Yeah, we value bet again. We basically have to be value betting here because we're targeting them having like ace X with a spade or something. And we'll bet 30. Gross if he shoves, but we're still gonna call. And here I don't mind like floating the 9s every once in a while. Yeah, so that's yeah. What we're calling top pair. Fold here, check the 9s. The 9s are just kind of, you probably just fold the 9s to be honest in the small blind. When he goes this small, I'm just not going to fold. The 1-bet with a pair. Because some people won't double barrel enough. Like obviously this is a board where it's fine to go small, double barrel, you know, and then blast river with like his entire range he could do it with and win probably like 80% of the time. Um, but most people just kind of give up too much on the turn when they stab flop like that. So you're just going to end up being able to you can over realize your equity because people let you show down a lot more than they should. Fold five deuce. ISO the jack three suited. Okay, interesting. So we ISO and then it just goes pop off. All right, and then he blasts half pot. I guess we just fold, being kind of stuck in the middle here when he blasts four ways. Make sure that microphone's still on. It is. ISO the king queen. I had 3-4. But anyways, yeah, with being stuck here in the middle, like ace jack's just a fold. Ace jack is also not a call pre-flop against my ISO. We will fold the 7 deuce. And we'll take a flop here at the 7-4. And we will just c-bet the ace-9. And we'll just I think I want to double barrel here a lot, so I'm gonna go small and then blast turn. But Geo does call in position. I guess we'll check back here now. And we're gonna lead out here on this board at the 1-2 table. Yeah. I think any like broad is never checking. If he has an 8 or a 9 in his hand, he's gonna bet that 100% because there's too much equity not to. And then the merch is going to bet too, as with the like gut shots and stuff. So when it does check around, it's a pretty clean spot for us to just lead out. And then probably barrel most rivers because they just don't have the straights. So if you guys are just joining the stream now, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to send a message, leave comments down below. Really does help kind of promote the video. And I do appreciate it since we are putting these videos out every day as best we can. It's always good to see the support coming back. The whole point of this challenge really is to prove that like this poker dream is definitely still alive, and it's, you know, there's all this talk out there right now, and YouTube even trying to compare poker to like other can't say the word right now. I guess betting games, if we could call them that. But there's obviously like a clear difference. For anybody who plays poker, they know that. And I think that chart that I showed, you know, if you go back in the video a little bit, pretty much proves that as well. Okay. Donnie with the limp raise here. Interesting. Is this just always aces? Probably just have to call with this hand in position, no matter what. Okay. That was probably aces. I wonder if we just fold pre with like the limp raise being what it is. The limp raise works better in tournament poker. It really doesn't work well in cash games. You're just like too deep, and people are way too suspicious of it. Like even kings, like you're bet. The only time you're getting money in is with kings, and even then the kings are like, they gotta fold at least like 15% of the time or something if you're willing to put the money in after like limp raising. I bet. Because you're just not doing it with anything, and nobody's ever like bluffing there either. Okay, we'll fold the 10-9 off. And we're gonna squeeze here. For those of you wondering, there is about a 6-minute, I think, delay on the stream. It definitely doesn't need to be that long. Especially now with the way the time banks, I think, are working. Realistically, nobody can see your hand. Like I could probably be on like a minute and a half delay or something, I bet. So that's something I think I'll adjust to. I think people, obviously, the faster you can respond to the chat, um, the better. Maybe we'll do some tournament streams in like streamer mode where we're just like live too. That could probably do pretty well as well. Or even like a 30-second delay or something. It's nice to have that delay if something were to happen. You can just like jam close your stream. Okay. Yeah, we'll just check call here. Fold queen deuce. Been pretty dead at this 1-2 table, I think. After that major suck out. Yeah, just kind of breaking even, which is fine. We're not going to complain to not being down, realistically. Because we should be down after that hand. We literally, if you go back to the first 5 minutes of the video, you'll see it. We literally one-outed on the river after putting all the money in on the turn. Jack 10 suited, we're gonna bump up. Who's this guy? Miggy. Cat. Yeah, no idea. We do obviously defend the Jack 10 suited, and we're gonna ISO. We're just gonna raise the limp from the small blind, and we are gonna value bet the queen at this point. Calls. Okay, it's a pretty good flop. With 2 10s, we can just go small here, and then we're gonna probably. Well, now we're gonna definitely value bet. Okay, wow, that's interesting. So he could just be very bluffy. He does seem to have those stats. We want to think for a little bit here and then call. Oh, that's so gross, man. So if he was bluffing, he'll probably be, yeah. Gross. I guess we call, but that's gross. We definitely call the ace jack here. And we definitely call again. And we call the river. Woo! It's close. And we shove the river. Here, we'll just take our queen high to showdown. Probably lose to ace X a lot. Depends, also lose to. Here on table over here, he just made like, it was just a bad bet on the river. If he like donk leads turn there, probably, I think it's just one of those spots where I don't think you can just stab small. I think you either commit and rip it or you just check fold, right? Because like 10 of 5 are not going to fold to that bet, and a flush is not going to fold to that bet, and ace high is probably not even going to fold to that bet, right? So he's kind of just throwing money away. Obviously, he tried to like block bet it with the showdown value of the ace, but it just doesn't really work in that scenario. So like one of the big takeaways too with block betting is that you can't block bet if you're not going to get called by worse, right? So if you can't get called by worse on the river, you just have to check or shove or whatever. But you're no longer block betting if you don't think you can get called by worse. You're basically just bluffing at that point, right? So raise the 10s. Not to say you can't bluff with the same sizing of the block bet. Point is, you're not actually block betting because you can't get called by a worse hand. And we 2x pot turn. Super profitable line. Pocket 10s. Fold 10-3 off. Pocket 7s versus ace 9. That's ace 10 raise. And we'll ISO to 6x. At a position, we'll just check call here. sort of defend our check back range a bit. Ace King, probably. I think when he snap checks back, we're just going to jam here now. We have overcards if he has any pair, and we have the backdoor. So we have a flush draw and a straight draw now. So all the money's just going in. And we're just going to maximize fold equity and shove 2x pot. And expect like that turn, like when he checks back, he's just going to fold a ton. So looks like it was a limped pot. We called flop queen, check call. And we will block bet on the river here. So I think he raises. It's interesting. He's just a click back, so I'm not going to fold to it. Yeah, that's fine. It is what it is. But I think you just have to call there. Your odds are too good that he's just doing it with like queen 10 randomly, or like just some random air. Missed a c-bet here on the flop. We do have a lot of queen x though when we check back flop, so we can still regain the hand there by betting turn to win. What happened here? We raised shovel spades, cold calls. With the queen of diamonds and 2 overs, we'll just lead out here. And we do need to sit out again. I have to go for a minute. I actually think that'll probably just be the end of the stream. It's been 1 hour and 20. I do have to like just go in general. All right, we turn the queen. And I guess we'll check here. We'll check the side. Unless he like pots it, we're never check folding, obviously. Especially with the queen of diamonds. Yeah, so he just goes like, just, what's that, like 40%, so we call. And then we'll check the side river as well. We do lose to queen jack. So, it just depends on his bet sizing. Like anything under half pot, we'd probably call. Anything like 3/4 or more, I'll probably just let it go. Nines. That's a good check back by him. I think it's a pointless bet on the turn though, I think also. Like it's a pointless bet on the turn to not blast river, I guess is what I'm saying. Like if you're betting, oh sorry, I don't want to slow roll or anything down there. That's a good card. We'll run it towards 3 times, sure. Lost the first one, won the second one, won the third one. So that's a clean EV win, right? But this is why my green line, not this particular hand, but in general, is higher than the EV line right now. Is because in these spots where we're only supposed to win like 65% of the time, we'd be like winning all 3, right? And that just drives your EV or drives your winnings above what your actual value is, because your expected value is never, almost never 100%, right? It's very rare somebody gets in dead. So even if they get in with 1 out on the river, you still, that's still like 6% or something like that, right? For them to hit, or 3% or whatever it is. Pull the ace 10, and we'll check the queen jack. So that will be, I guess we'll just end the stream now. I guess we'll pull this up. So today, yeah, it's a good day. 400 this morning, up 600 yesterday. Can't complain about that. Again, so we did a full update on the Bankroll Challenge in this stream. If you're just checking it out after it's over and you kind of fast forwarding to the end here, if you zoom back, you'll see the update for the full stream, or for the full month and a half, whatever it's been, for the 100K Bankroll Challenge. And there's also a crazy hand within the first like 5 minutes of the video. If you want to check that out as well, that was pretty cool. So